Welcome, my noble audience. I am Archimedes Lichelord of Cyrenica, and today we embark on the grand and mythical adventure.
Oh boy, I love magical
adventures. No, there's no magic in this.
No magic?
No demons or dragons either.
What?
It's human beings and everyday beasts in this story.
How can it be an adventure if there's no magic?
Because we're going to focus on mortal yet extraordinary fellows accomplishing great deeds against impossible odds.
You said it was a mythic adventure. How can it be mythic if there's no magic or dragons or monsters?
It's more about how a great story evolves through myths and then grows into or inspires legends. And then we reflect on how those inspire people to live out still more heroic tales.
Why would they do that if there's no magic?
Yeah, who writes a story about real life? We live real life every day. There's lots of sword fights and mystery, also character growth and acknowledging the strengths of different cultures and what they bring to the human struggle. It's also an excellent display of how men sometimes fight for the strangest of reasons, but can also form the strongest of bonds despite supposedly insurmountable odds. It's a good story.
Was any of that in the original?
What?
These days, everything is based on something else. So we're asking, is any of the stuff you're talking about in the original?
I mean, according to every exact detail, no, not really.
I know it.
Listen, you little shits, I'm gonna talk about 13th Warrior. It's a great adventure movie with great characters and an interesting setting. And you two twits are gonna sit down, shut up, and learn something about storytelling. Got it?
Why are you so mean?
It was just a joke, bro.
What did we do to you anyway?
Fuck! Welcome to Retrospective Rants with me, Joey Huff, as your host. Today, I'm going to talk about an adventure movie from the 90s, that being The 13th Warrior, starring Antonio Banderas. Let's get into it. Oh, yeah, spoiler warning. In ages past, our protagonist, Ahmed Ibn Fadlan, played by Antonio Banderas, is ejected from his comfortable role in the court of the great caliph and made ambassador to a country far to the north of the world. But his journey is interrupted, for as his caravan is fleeing a group of bandits, they happen upon a group of Vikings who have come there to hold a funeral for their deceased king. As Ahmed does his awkward best to communicate and, well, be an ambassador, word comes to the camp that the lands of King Hrothgar are under attack by an unknown and unspeakable terror. The Vikings have a wise woman do her seer thing of consulting bones, as one does, and she says that 13 warriors must go forth and save the besieged land, no more, no less. But the 13th warrior must not be a Northman, and thus Ahmed is singled out as this 13th warrior. And yeah, that's our setup. Now, this movie is based on the legend of Beowulf, but not directly. No. It is, in fact, based on a book written by Michael Crichton of Jurassic Park fame, and his book is half based on Beowulf and half based on a now dubious account of an Arabian man's encounter with Vikings. There's a whole other story there, too. But Crichton's book, Eaters of the Dead, was written as a way to combat critics of the original poem of Beowulf, who said that the original poem, or the original classic, was uninteresting. This means that the movie 13th Warrior is an adaptation of a book that is a narrative-focused defense of a classic Old English poem. Despite this strange adaptational road, 13th Warrior is a fun and efficient adventure with a lot of heart. There's as much of a focus on Ahmed's attempts to ingratiate himself with his new company as there is on the actual conflict with the mysterious monsters. For there are quite a few differences between Ahmed's medieval Arabic culture and the culture of his Viking friends. These Northmen are rougher and rowdier than he, and they don't waste much time on niceties. Sometimes they're a little gross. There's a whole scene where they pass around a single bowl of water, which is used for washing hair, hands, mouths, and whatever else. There's a part where a guy rinses his teeth and then spits the water back into the bowl so that it can be used by the next guy. It's fascinating in a gross way. By contrast, Ahmed is from the court of Arabic nobility, where pageantry and, well, courtly protocol are present and in excess. Added to that, Ahmed is a poet. He comes across as, and kind of is, softer and more pampered than his fellows. He's also the stranger to this motley crew, and they, well, most of the crew anyway, don't expect much from him. They even tease him quite a bit. But Ahmed is no pushover. He uses his talent for language and analysis to pick up on what the others are saying in their own language, impressing them all with his wits. When the Vikings mock his smaller horse, Ahmed shows both his riding skills and the agility of his steed, again impressing them. And when the first attack from the monsters arrives, he stands his ground and even manages to kill one of the marauders. Ahmed is never painted as a victim, or even really an underdog. He's the new guy that the boys have some preconceptions about, but he breaks through that with his actions and attitude. This makes way for a strong bond to be formed between him and the Vikings. It's especially strong with Herger, the roguish veteran with quick wits, and Bulvai, the leader of the company who, in my opinion, is a worthy competitor to Aragorn in terms of adventure story kings and leaders. These relationships are, in my opinion, the heartful half of the movie. Now, the actual conflict of the story, the fighting of the monsters or Wendel, is the other half. This is where we get into spoilers and a few of my nitpicks with the movie. The Wendel, they're not actually monsters. They're cavemen who try to imitate bears. Their mother, taking the place of Grendel's mother, is a witch who crafts poison, and the entire tribe has more horses than Genghis Khan. Seriously though, these bear cosplayers who live in bone tents and caves have an obscene amount of war horses. Yes, the Wendel are very savage, and unraveling their cannibalistic nature is part of the story, and they're very creepy, but they're also a little bit silly. I'd be lying if I said I thought the Wendel were particularly memorable bad guys. Yeah, they kill more and more of our heroes as the story progresses, and that shows they're dangerous at least, but, we only spend so much time with the full company of 13 warriors, and the ones that die early are the ones we don't spend that much time with. And we don't get any particular members of the Wendel tribe who are, really villainous or memorable. We have the mother of the Wendel and the war chief, but they're more akin to upgraded or elite enemy variants in a video game rather than full-on characters of their own. The only other opposing force is the prince, or son, of King Hrothgar. He's the typical spoiled, cowardly nobleman, and he works to undermine Bulvai out of jealousy and fear for his own position. And while his plans are dealt with in an excellent but also very quick scene, the prince kind of just sticks around and doesn't do anything noteworthy for the rest of the movie. Knowing all of this, you might ask, what makes the conflict interesting then? Well, it's our heroes. They put in quite a bit of legwork to figure out how the Wendel function and how best to dispatch them. There's also a lot of character work to be shown in their interactions with the people of the besieged village and how both parties unite and work together against their common foe. For some technical notes, the costuming is excellent, if a bit, dare I say, fantastical. The company of Vikings all have their own unique gear, probably to indicate where they have sailed and what loot they have taken. It's cool, but also eye-catching in a way that makes the historical Puritans cringe a little. Trust me, I checked. The villagers also look like medieval frontier settlers used to living in rough places, and the Wendel look like the evil cavemen. Not much else to say. I don't have much to say about the camera work either, but the locations are quite excellent. The ships and the village all seem like lived-in places rather than simple sets. The scenes where the Vikings hunt the Wendel mother in their cave network is intense, and the closeness and darkness of the environment adds to that. The action is also excellent. It is a John McTiernan film after all. All that being said, The 13th Warrior is a fun and engaging adventure film with some minor problems that, in my opinion, are edged out by the excellent character work of our main protagonists. I highly recommend you watch it. That's all for today then. Thank you so much for listening to this retrospective rant, and have a good one.